It's not every day I play a game and say, I have to make a video on this. Undertale gave me that feeling, and so did Doki Doki Literature Club. It happens few and far between with games that really drive home a specific message for the people playing it. While every game has a message, some aren't as strong as others, some aren't as meaningful or as useful as I might like. But every once in a while, you find a game that is amazing to play, but what really takes your breath away is the story. Now, if you haven't played this game yet and are planning to, there will be spoilers, and I don't want to ruin the game for you. So maybe wait on watching this video until after you've gone through it. However, if you've already played the game, or if you just want to hear my thoughts on it, you've come to the right place. Celeste has a lot of emotion, and it's quickly become one of my favorites of all time because of the creative storytelling that's unleashed through the literal metaphor of climbing a massive mountain. Its story hit me deep and really spoke to me, so I want to share what I felt with you because I think it's important and because I think it could help someone else with their life. This game is a masterpiece of gameplay that has a heartfelt lesson for a plot, and it's an idea that we constantly forget and struggle against every day in our lives. So please join me as we go into one of my new favorite games and take the lessons it shares with us to heart. Celeste is about a young girl named Madeline, who doesn't just want, but needs to climb Celeste Mountain. Madeline doesn't really know why she needs to climb it, or what is driving her to this decision, but she knows she needs to climb it. I can understand that sentiment. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel the need to do things without knowing why I feel the need to do them. Sometimes I need to write. Sometimes I just have to do something outside of my routine. Do something new. Sometimes I need to go to the store to get some flaming hot Cheetos, but I don't know why, I just do. So Madeline's story from the very beginning already resonated with me. She needed a change, a challenge, something to shake her out of whatever life was giving her. I get that, I understand that, and I already want to climb this mountain and succeed because of it. Right from the start, I relate to her on a deeper level than I do with most characters. She's troubled, she has problems, and those problems have led her to take on something most people wouldn't, because she needs to do something for herself. She needs to prove something to herself. Madeline meets this old lady who tells her the mountain is a strange place, and that Madeline might see things she's not ready to see. Of course, then Madeline tells her she needs some psychiatric help and goes on her way only to nearly die from a falling bridge. Luckily, a bird, henceforth known as Bird Friend, tells you how to dash, and you make it safely to the other side. Even in this pixely game, you can see the emotion on Madeline's face after that close call. She's breathing heavily, obviously stressed from what just happened. She's probably worried that this might be too difficult of a task for her. The game then tells you the one thing you need to remember for the rest of your climb. You can do this. As the game goes on, you learn more and more about how to climb, how different mechanics work, and you start thinking, yeah, I got this. And then you come to a lone mirror where your reflection is different. Suddenly, your reflection breaks out of the mirror and runs away. You find that being a short time later, and she stops you. She's a part of you. That's her name for the entire game. She's literally a part of you. A part you don't like. This part of you says she's worried about you, that you're not a mountain climber, that you can't handle this task. She then proceeds to actually try and stop you from progressing when you talk back. That was real to me. It's probably real to you too. In all of ourselves, there's a part of us that's trying to hold ourselves back, whether it's fear, anxiety, doubt, depression, or something else. There's always a part of me telling myself that I can't make it, that I can't do what I want to do, that even after 4 years of making videos for people to learn and laugh from, I'm somehow incapable of making content worth watching. There's always a part of me telling myself that my life won't work out, that my goals aren't obtainable, that I should just give up and take the easily trodden path because that's where I belong. This game makes that so real. There's literally a part of you saying this path is too hard, that you can't climb that mountain. And what do we all do from our fear sometimes? We run away, just like in this game. Madeline runs away from her problems and fears. The only way she can see to move forward is if she leaves them behind and forgets about them. But we all know that isn't possible in real life, and that part of you returns later on. In the next chapter, where you have to deal with being Mr. Oshiro's maid and clean up the ghost dude's hotel, tell, that part of you comes back. She hurts Mr. Oshiro's feelings, lashing out at him for his hot, steamy dump of a resort. Madeline just let her problems fester beneath the surface and ignored them. So we're seeing those issues coming out and affect the people around her. This is a learning moment for the player, but not quite for Madeline. She keeps asking the part of her why she's still here, why she won't go away. Madeline doesn't yet understand that this part of her can't be left behind and will continue to torment her until she actively works to take care of it. And by taking care of that part of her, Madeline will be taking care of herself. She's not there yet though, as we see later on in the gondola. That part of her shows up again and causes a panic attack that her friend Theo needs to help her through. Her worries, doubts, and fears are going ignored, and that's causing worse and worse things to happen to Madeline. I know the feeling. I too have let my own issues go ignored for a long time. The longer you ignore them, the worse they get, and the more damage they do to your life. We really see that damage in the next chapter, the Mirror Temple. In the Mirror Temple, we literally get transported inside a world created by our own mind. Every horrible thing trying to kill us is created from us. And just like you'd expect, the part of you is there to explain that to you. It's like you're looking in a mirror, but you are actually seeing inside your own mind. And Madeline's mind is full of things trying to hold her back. The entire chapter is a magnified version of it. Madeline asks one defining question. If you're part of me, why do you want to hurt me? And that's the thing, we don't want to hurt ourselves. We don't want to hold ourselves back, just like Madeline's other part doesn't truly want to hurt her. But she's the literal version of doubt, worry, fear, and anxiety. She's emotions that manifest in all of us. It's not about those emotions trying to hold us back, it's about our own misunderstanding of how we feel. If we don't know how to understand our own emotions, and Madeline certainly doesn't understand that part of her yet, how can we expect to move forward? It's like trying to swim against the current. You're fighting against a part of yourself, and that's going to slow your progress forward, just like it does with Madeline. The mountain's power makes our insecurities a reality. We see the massive labyrinth that is created from Madeline's mind that we need to traverse through. At the same time, we see the cage and eyes that Theo's mind creates to trap him. As a YouTuber, that manifestation of his mind also hit me really hard. I get that. Sometimes I feel like I'm trapped in a cage with literally thousands of eyes watching me and judging me. I mean, that's kind of what YouTube comments are. But that's his cage too! He's so obsessed with getting views on his photos that it's become an insecurity of his rather than something to enjoy. Now, I'm not saying I don't love making videos, but I understand the mindset and can sympathize with it. However, it's Madeline I truly understand, because I've been down the path she's on. I know people who struggle with her demons. I see so much reality within her troubles. Even after getting out of the Mirror Temple, she still doesn't understand. In her next encounter with that part of her, Madeline says she doesn't need that part of her. She's setting that part of her free and says they'll both be happier that way. The part of her returns that idea by calling her stupid, doing some pixel tentacle porn thing and making her fall, and fall, and fall. Madeline has essentially hit rock bottom here. She's come to the wrong conclusion about that other part of her, and because of that, she's come to her lowest point since starting the climb. This is the representation of a point we all hit at some point in our lives. Life isn't always a consistent upward climb. It takes downward spirals, and sometimes we find that we've thrown ourselves so far down that we have to climb back out of the hole we made. Madeline still feels like this is all that part of her's fault. It's not until she talks to the old lady that she met at the beginning of the game that Madeline begins to understand. She's angry at herself, and the only way to move forward is to stop being angry at herself. Recognize that this is a part of her, and work towards understanding that part of her, and not being mad when it comes up. We all have problems, we all have fears, but getting mad at ourselves for having them does nothing but hurt ourselves. If we care for our fears, if we do some self-reassurance and take the time to acknowledge them and work on them instead of pretending they aren't there, then we can keep the current from sweeping us away. We can calm the waters and move on with more strength than we had before. Madeline attempts to do this, which becomes an epic boss fight. Even this fight has its place in the story. It resembles the difficulties and time it takes to get to a point where you do understand yourself. It's difficult and takes a lot of effort to get to the next step on your journey to understanding yourself better. Madeline takes that time and makes that effort in this fight, and it leads to her caring, consoling, and reassuring her other part. Even after their fight, when they agree to work together, her anxieties are still there. You can hear it every time part of her speaks. She's always unsure. But it gets better and better the more Madeline supports herself. And that's the real beauty of this game. It took something that we all have and made it real. Celeste shows us that we all fight against ourselves, and sometimes that fight can consume our lives. It can seem insurmountable. Why am I plagued with fear and anxiety and doubt? Why can't I just believe in myself? Why can't I ignore this part of me? Why can't I just be happy? I don't want to be this way, but that's the thing. It's a part of you. It's a part of me, and I have to learn to accept that. It's a struggle we all have to fight our entire lives. But just like Madeline, if we are able to do it, then we can climb our mountains too. We can reach our summits, and it won't be because we left part of us behind. It'll be because we became more whole in ourselves. That's the message of Celeste. I hope you can take it to heart like I did and work with yourself instead of against yourself. This was a really helpful video for me to make, and I hope you all enjoyed it and learned something about this beautiful game and also about yourself in the process. Thanks to all of you who watched till the very end, and let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more content like this, and I guess subscribe. I feel like I'm ready to take on my own mountain, and I hope you are too. I'll see you at the summit. Bye everyone.